Hi, I'm Chelsea Hewsome, your host of the Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm an entrepreneur, author, speaker, and mom of two. And I'm so tired of women not feeling like they can show up as fully expressed versions of themselves. So here, we're all about that unapologetically, because honestly, we don't have time not to. Literally, because we're busy as F moms and entrepreneurs, but also figuratively, because we don't know how much time we have on this planet, and we want to make an impact now. But if we're doing this, we're making it real vibes only. So let's get inspired, laugh our asses off, quite possibly cry, and feel like you're sitting on the couch with your bestie and a glass of wine. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Lip Service and Lashes podcast. I'm your host, Chelsea Hewsome. I'm so glad you're here. You guys, today I have my friend Kelly Armstrong. Kelly is a certified mental performance coach, visualization specialist, and the founder of Next Level Her. She helps female athletes develop the confidence and clarity they need to rise under pressure and compete with joy. With a blend of mental training tools and faith-based encouragement, Kelly teaches athletes to trust the gifts God has given them and play free, both in competition and in life. Kelly, I'm so glad you're here.
Yay. Hi, Chelsea. Thank you so much for having me. This is so great. So fun.
Yes. I've been so excited for this. All right. So we know each other through our sons. We've known each other now for years. I think they played football together first back in the day, I think. And then they merged to
introduction
basketball. Yeah. So we always just love that we get to see you guys. So hopefully we'll run into you more this season throughout the winter in basketball.
Yes, it should be fun. I can't wait.
Yes. Okay. So how did you end up getting in this work? Because I have so many questions about this. But how did you decide that this is what you wanted to do?
Do you want the long story or the short
You give me whatever
version?
you want. Whatever you want. Yeah.
I would say this has been just one of those amazing journeys where you literally trust the process. I first started just kind of engaging in the mindset arena about 3-4 years ago for my personal self. My husband and I, we went through secondary unexplained infertility. And so that just kind of threw me into, I guess you would call it a state of depression that I didn't know I was in. It was one of those, as a mom, as you know, you just kind of keep going in life. Like you survive, you think positively and just keep moving through life because you really don't have time to sit in it sometimes. But once I really started to dive into what mindset work was, it was like, oh, I don't feel good. This isn't how I want to show up for my son, for my husband, my family. So I had to start somewhere. And it was just kind of the healing process through our pain with infertility. And as I did that, I was really intrigued with helping others work through what I was going through. So then in 3 years ago, I actually became a certified life and mindset coach because I wanted to, like I said, help women who were struggling with the same thing I did. And maybe those who were like, oh gosh, this isn't how I thought life was going to turn out in my 30s or 40s, or this isn't what I thought I'd have to go through or struggle through, whether it was emotionally or physically or financially. And it was just really hard for me. So I knew it would be hard for others and I wanted to help.
Oh, yeah.
So I went down that journey for a little bit, a few years. And then just at the beginning of this year, I ran across a podcast, of course, and this mental performance coach was just talking about how she helps female athletes in high school, college with the mindset piece of it. And how to compete, how to work through those hard times, through just ups and downs. I'd be like, wow, what is this? Like, I've been an athlete since I was probably 7 years old myself. I played tennis, I played volleyball, and even in college a little bit. And so it's like, oh, this it was just like a light bulb moment. God was speaking to me.
Mm-hmm.
He pushed me forward into getting certified then as a mental performance coach and visualization specialist. And it is just like taken off. I just feel it every day. I get excited to wake up, to talk to my athletes, to just inspire them, to get them through those hard times, to think more confidently and know why God put them there on that field, on that court, what their purpose is. And it's just so fun and so rewarding. So I just feel so blessed, and they bless me, I bless them. And it's just this great, awesome experience.
I love all that. It's so needed. And I think as an athlete too, you have different demands on you, but it's so much more mental than physical. You can be a gifted athlete physically, but you have to be able to get yourself in the headspace, overcome obstacles, overcome the pressure, right? So it's so needed. So and I'm asking this because I'm selfishly asking, do you ever work with boy athletes? Because I know your son, and he is a fantastic, sweet, respectful kid who is really gifted as an athlete. And you can just tell like you have like worked with him probably, but I'm asking selfishly because I have two sons. Do you ever work with males, or how can, talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And thank you so much for your kind words with Jace. And yeah,
He's so sweet.
I mean, he has his ups and downs too, but it's been great. And he actually inspired me a little bit to go into the mental performance training, because I know that someday it's really going to hit hard, and he's going to need some advice and some care. And it'll be kind of a struggle probably coming from mom, but he was an inspiration to that for sure, decision making. But yes, I can. I'm certified with both male, female, old, young. And when I say old and young, college, all the way probably to middle school, because there is a lot of mindset training, obviously, that goes into that, and how the brain works, how we make decisions, how we can train. So they have to have somewhat of a maturity level.
For sure.
But yes, it does work. And I was kind of going back and forth when I was going through my training. Do I want to work with male athletes more around my son's age because I'm in it? Or do I kind of focus more on girls like myself, because I'd gone through the journey personally, and there's so many more emotions that females have. So it was kind of a toss up, but as far as just what I'm trained in and who I can help, it's either anybody or for sure.
Okay. Yes. Okay. Good. And I, even with, my son's 12, Jace is 13, right? I've done a lot of work on myself and personal development, right? And the mindset training and things like that. And I find myself trying to model things for them, or kids really struggle with coping skills lately, and something kind of a setback happens and they just like derail, and it's really scary to watch a lot of these children not have the tools to work through hard things, right? So tell me, like, what are some of the silent struggles that female athletes face, like, and maybe other people don't see?
Right. I think the big thing too is social media, for one.
Oh, it's huge.
So everyone is posting their highlights, all the great things that are happening in their game, who's the prettiest, who's the tallest, who competes at a higher level, who plays club volleyball or tennis or basketball out of state, who travels the most. And it becomes very competitive mentally now. I mean, it's definitely even more physically competitive now than it was when I competed. We didn't actually even have club. Not that I want to age myself.
We didn't either at all. You played for the high school. That's it.
That was it. That was your main thing. And that was where you're going to get noticed. Those are the coaches you had to rely on. And now there's, some do play for their school. Some do play for the club as well. And that becomes very difficult because those coaches 9 times out of 10 do not have the same game plan, do not coach the same, do not see that same athlete in the same way. I do kind of coach a few of my girls through that because they play one position in club and then they play the next whole different position for their high school. and they don't really know how to decipher or how to still succeed at
Hmm.
both. And so I would say that is one for sure. I guess the second one, because the
Yeah.
first one is social media for sure, and just how,
Comparison.
yes, and how
Yeah.
quick you can see someone's highlights. And,
Hmm.
you know, it's just grounding them in who they are. They're not
Yeah.
playing for X or Instagram or Facebook. Like they're
Hmm.
playing for basically, I mean, for God and who He created them to be. He gave them
Hmm.
these talents, and to kind of come back to the core of who they are and not put so much pressure on themselves,
Yeah.
but to make them realize that they can praise God in the moment before they, step onto that field or that court,
Hmm.
and just give Him all the glory and just be themselves. Take the pressure
Yes.
off. And
Hmm.
that's just probably the biggest thing. And I love to help them work through that, because it's just such a huge aha moment for them, because they feel like it's all about them, that they do have to have that
Yeah.
highlight reel, that their hair has to be so cute and adorable, and that they do
Hmm.
have to, use the right hashtags to get the coach, at the collegiate level to notice them, or all
Hmm.
these things. And it's so much
That's a
out of their
lot.
hands in a way,
Yeah.
that it's like, if you
Yeah.
just show up as you, that's what a coach
Yep.
is really looking for too, is not just your physical ability, how many hits you get,
Oh yeah.
or how many aces you get, or how many free throws you've shot in a game. It's really your attitude during and after,
Oh
and how you
yeah.
treat your teammates, and how you bounce back from those mistakes. So kind of just rerouting where they take their mindset journey through the entire game or a practice is really key.
Yes, I agree. And ultimately too, when we all started playing whatever or doing whatever activity when we were younger, it started as doing it for the joy of, I love this thing. It lights me up. I feel amazing when I do it. Right. So like you said, bringing it back to God, bringing it back to the basic of, this used to bring me joy. All the other things are robbing that joy, but come back to that ultimately. Right.
Yes, and I love that you
And
mentioned that
yeah.
too, because I actually use that as a visualization with my athletes.
Mm,
So it is actually taking them back to when they first started, when they were maybe 5, 6, 7, 8 years old. And
yeah.
I have them sit in that for a minute. They close their eyes. We do breathing techniques. And I have them go back to that moment when they did love it,
Yeah.
why they loved it, what excited them the most. And when I bring them out of that visualization, they are just like a breath of fresh air. A weight
Yeah.
is lifted off, because you get so into the moment that you forget how you
Hmm.
got there, And so
Oh,
it's
absolutely.
it's really transformational when you can see an athlete go from so stressed and wired to, oh, I do love this sport. This is why
Yeah.
I'm here. And let's set some
Yeah.
new goals and strive for more.
Yep. Well, and I love you also said, you play the sport and, that's part of like being a good athlete, but even more, I feel like you would agree is, are you a good person? My husband and I always talk about, like, let's say pro football players, right? You have those guys that are like amazing athletes, but they're like beating their girlfriend and they're doing horrible, they're like a horrible person. But then you have those people that are giving back to the community and making a difference and using their platform and their celebrity to help other people, right? It's like, I always tell Owen, like, ultimately you can be an athlete, right? But even more, you should be being a good person and an example for those little boys or girls looking up to you.
Oh, that is such a good point. Yes, for sure. Because it's who you are and who you want to
Yeah.
show up as, how you want people to see you, and not in a selfish way or a comparison way, but you want people to say, I want her on my team. I want him on my
Yes.
team. Look at how she handles pressure. Look at how he bounces back from, this adversity situation. And
Yeah.
like being that good for, because one day they're not going to play that sport anymore.
Yes.
So who are you? What kind of person do you
Yes.
want to be to your community? And it's an amazing platform to have and not overlook that or even abuse it, because the experiences you can have are life changing and you can take into your future and just amazing
Mhm.
memories. And that's what I like to also tell my athletes. Like, you want to look back and say, that was freaking awesome.
Yes.
I
And
left
I
it
gave it
all
my
on the
all.
exactly. I
Yes.
left it all on the
Yes.
field, mentally, physically, spiritually, like
Yep.
making friends. And that's what it's about, because you're only going to do this for a
Absolutely.
short time in your life for the most part. A lot, if you will make it professionally and play longer in life, but
Yeah.
most just play till, senior year in high school. And then what,
Yeah.
right? You got to know who
Yeah.
you are and who you want to be and how you want to lead. And one day when you get married and you want to, lead a family, you're kind of, creating yourself in real time through
Yeah.
sports, for things like that in your future. So it's very important.
Oh, yes. Okay. So I have a little story and then I'm going to segue into, I want you to talk about this. So I met this dad at my son Wyatt's first football practice or whatever, and he and I chatted for like an hour, and we got really deep, and we were talking, about how with the club sports and the pressure and all this. He said, my wife and I made a pro and con list of if our kids should play competitive sports, and he said there was literally only one more pro than con. He's like, because we don't see each other. It's like passing in the night. It's the kids are up late, they're stressed out, this and that. But he's like, there was one more pro and we're here. But he told me a story about that's always in his mind, I guess, that he went to high school with this boy who was number one football player in the state, like amazing, right? And he had he was in high school, already had a full ride scholarship to college. He had a career ending injury, not a season ending, but career ending in high school. And he took his life because he only identified as I am a football player. He was no one else. And that breaks my heart. And so what are some signs that an athlete's identity is too tied to the performance, or how do you work with kids on that? Like, you are more than just this sport, because that's really a horrific thing
I
if a
know.
kid feels that, right?
It is. And it is that pressure because you want to perform and people are looking to you to perform, because in
Mm-hmm.
that case, he was the best. And I'm sure there are the high expectations of the coaches and parents and
Mm-hmm.
collegiate level coaches too, I'm sure, and the pressure.
Yeah.
And honestly, I see it a lot. I guess one of the main things that stands out is that they can't control their emotions,
Mm.
or that they just get so ticked off at teammates or at themselves, and they don't know how to come back to center or to bounce back from those situations. And so it is like grounding them into who they are. And whether I see those signs or not in an athlete, we start there. I want to make
That's
sure they
good.
know who they are, and um, that their purpose isn't just playing a sport and excelling at
Yes.
it. Like, that's just a gift, one of many gifts that God gave them, but that's not who they
Mm-hmm.
are. They
Yeah.
can play it, they can love it, but when they walk off the court, I want them to be able to hold their head high and know it's just that change of like perspective, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
doing some visualizations, I think, help so much, and having that quiet time and even journaling, because I think athletes will forget who they are based on the fact that they're just so into the skills part and the physical part and the training and you know the private lessons, and they don't connect with themselves. And I think that was even with me with the depression and infertility. I forgot that I was trying to be a mom to the son we had. I
Mm.
just forgot. You get so wrapped up in that one thing that you've been
Yeah.
working your entire life for. And I don't want to downplay that goal. However, if you don't connect with yourself on a daily basis, you will forget who you are
Yeah.
and who God made you to be as a person on and off that field, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, pour into who are you as a person and you have so much to offer. And it's our job as parents to try to not put so much pressure on these kids. And like, every game I go to, I know you know this, there's like parents on the other team like screaming at these children, and it's like, it makes me angry. I feel like when those kids go home, they're getting yelled at because they didn't make that touchdown or they didn't do this. And I'm like, they're third grade people. Like, oh my God, chill.
I
You
know,
know, I
it's
just, you
so
see,
crazy to watch. It really is. And I don't
drives me
mind,
nuts.
like, I'm that parent that is, I get really excited, but it's all
I do
positive.
too.
I don't
Yes.
yell negative stuff at players or my son, or, it's
Yeah.
like, I get really excited because I love competition. I
Yeah.
love being there. I love watching kids shine. But there are parents that do get into it too much, and they're living vicariously through their kiddo because A,
Yeah.
maybe they did, make it to a higher level, or B, they didn't, and now they think their
Mm-hmm.
kiddo should. But I like to
Yeah.
tell parents, listen, you already had your opportunity. You
Mm-hmm.
had your experience. Now just let go and let your son or
Mm-hmm.
daughter have their experience. Like I said
Yes.
before, like, I want them to walk away saying, this was freaking awesome. And I do
Yes.
kind of side sessions too with parents where I feel like if they need some guidance, because I
Mm-hmm.
did too. I was so glad I did the certification, because it's, how do you handle the car ride home? I'm glad you mentioned that, because it
Yeah.
is. It's like,
Yeah.
what do you do when your kiddo just totally gave up, didn't have any effort, had a bad attitude, screamed at a ref?
Mm-hmm.
Like, what do you say? When do you say something? And it's getting to know your child. And I feel like that's so important, because most know what they did. They already know
Yeah.
how they screwed up. They already know how the loss, is affecting them. So to give them that minute to experience, and as parents, if you don't let them experience the failure now, when they are 30, they're not going to know how to handle a job loss, or a
Yes.
struggle in a marriage, or not getting the promotion that they wanted. Like, I know it's hard. It's hard for me. It's hard to see when Jay's, doesn't excel, or, doesn't play at his best. But it's so important to
Mm-hmm.
let
Yes.
them have
Mm-hmm.
this experience, the good, the bad, the ugly, the struggles, the championships. Let them live it. You, as a parent, are supposed to sit on the sideline, love them, care for them, and always support whatever they want to do, whether it is,
Yep.
a club team, or going back to your friend that you met on the sidelines at coach or at practice. It's like,
Mm-hmm.
let the kid decide. If there's no issue of you financially, or physically
Yeah.
committing, as a family, to get everybody to practice, but letting them decide. Don't push them into something, or
Yeah.
don't pull them out of something just because you have an issue with it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your kiddo is fully on board, ready to commit, ready to take this to the next level, because it's their experience. They want to try. Let them try.
Exactly.
Let them fail. Let
Exactly.
them win. Like, I know it's hard, but as a parent, let them have this journey. They deserve it.
Yes. Well, and we can't fix everything for them. And like you said, then when they're 30, they're like a hot mess because they can't work through anything. And like Owen used to be quarterback back when he was like flag football. And then he had one bad experience at tackle football, and he has refused to play football ever since. He's playing now flag for the middle school. But I mean, last night, my husband were playing catch after the Bronco game in the backyard. And the kid can throw bombs. Like, he throws these beautiful spirals. And I'm always like, God, I just want to watch you. I wish you would play because you have talent. But he's like, no, mom, no, I don't want to play. Okay, fine. I want to do basketball. Fine. Whatever you want to do, even though I know that you have talent and I know you could excel. But if you aren't loving it or feeling it, I'm not going to push you. Yeah.
Right. And we can't
And
let them decide.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
And
and also
sometimes
we
there is
always,
those one experiences too, that, like,
yes.
when they don't have that one mindset tool to
Yes.
get them out of that spiral of why that game freaked them out, or why they had a bad
Mm-hmm.
experience. Like, that's something where even coaching an athlete, when life is great. Like, I don't have to always coach an athlete who's struggling and can't get
Yeah.
past mistakes. It's also the one that wants to just start fresh and have
Yep.
this ultimate tool to have,
Yeah.
so that when something does happen, then they're ready to recover. They can bounce back. They have a plan when they do have a bad game, or when they get tackled too many times,
Yes.
or hit too many serves into the net, that they know that it was just one moment. It was just one
Yeah.
game, and we can get past that. Yeah, but it's hard. But then, yeah, you can't pressure them to do anything,
Yeah.
just let them decide. So
Exactly.
there's kind of that like balance. And that's why I always offer clarity calls to my athletes and parents, so that we can kind of dictate what's really going on and what would help them the best moving forward.
Well, and you're giving them the tools, you're teaching them the tools before they hopefully need them. So that when they do need them, it's not, they're not just like flailing. And we always tell our kids too about, I think it was Michael Jordan, Brett Favre. Like, I know Brett Favre, he had, I think the most, back in the day, he had like the title of the most touchdowns thrown, but he also had the title of the most like interceptions thrown. And it's, or, how Michael Jordan, I think he got cut from his high school basketball team or something. And it's like, when they don't win a game, it's like, look at all the people playing pro. They aren't winning every game. You don't ever win every game, guys. Like, that should never be the expectation. Or the people that are out there shining and doing amazing things, they are willing to fail and make mistakes. And that's the only way they're going to be great, is because they're taking chances and they're working through adversity.
Exactly. And I actually watched, I think it was NFL Today or something last weekend, and they were saying, listen, there are, is it 32? I'm drawing a blank. 32 or 36 NFL teams.
I don't know.
Only one gets to hold the trophy at the end of the season.
Yeah.
Only one gets that satisfaction of their hard work, mentally, physically, emotionally, all of that, and winning. So what would happen if all those other teams decided to quit? All those other players decided to quit the game, right?
Yeah.
And so what would be left, And it's just like, there's only one winner too in high school volleyball state championships 5A, right?
Exactly.
But everyone still has to have that mental drive to be better next year, or to reach that next goal, and know that, again, your identity isn't that championship trophy. Actually, it's the journey of getting to that point is really where you learn the most.
Yep. Yeah. And being a teammate too. We were in Mexico all week for fall break, and then Wyatt had a game, but he was not there all week. And we talked about, like, you're probably not going to play, and that's okay, because we were, he's like, it's okay, Mom. I wasn't at practice. I wouldn't expect to play, but I'm still going to show up and cheer on my team. And he played, like, at the end, they put him in, probably just to be nice. But again, it's like it's our responsibility to teach and not have him mad. Like, why aren't they playing me? Well, you weren't here for when the 2 practices where they prepped for this game. So that makes sense. And you're still a part of this team, and you're going to be there cheering them on. Right. Yeah.
Yes. And I love that you had him go to the game too, knowing that he may not
wouldn't.
And that sets a tone for their mind. So excellent job, Mom. That was so great, because you don't let a team down just because you think you might not be able to play today, or you get the ball today. But being there and showing that you're a great teammate, again, goes back to what the coaches are looking at too, moving forward.
Oh, absolutely.
I think that's like the best. And it just shows, again, when you get older, 30 years old, and you're going to your job, it kind of creates that same sort of standard for yourself. Like,
for sure,
I'm not going to get this promotion. I know it's going to the other gal. I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to prove myself and do my job, so that I feel good about myself and everything that I contributed to the team. Even if it's the office, you don't want to go home feeling like you didn't give it your all,
Exactly.
And creating those experiences and standards now when they're younger carries over for sure into their future.
For sure. And, if you're going to play high school or college, like, coaches are looking, they don't want diva, all about me, selfish players. They want the people that are good teammates. And, like, it isn't all about me. I'm not trying to make every basket. I'm passing it. We're a team. And that goes all of those pieces come into play. So I just love this work that you're doing. Okay. I always like to ask this question, and just, I have so many mom fails. It's like I could write 5 million books because like
We'll write one
it just
together.
happens. It just happens. Do you have a funny or a mom fail story where you're like, man, yeah, there's so many. And I always, sorry, it puts you on the spot a little bit.
Goodness. Man, I'm trying to think. This is on the spot.
If you can't think of it, I know, I'm sorry. One of my friends, she like drove away from her son's baseball practice twice, one in Las Vegas and one here, and like left him. She's like, what? Her other son's like, Mom, where's so-and-so? She's like, oops, we're in Starbucks and we forgot the kid.
We got to go back to the field and get you up. We're on our
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know that I actually have had like.
Yeah. And don't worry, it's totally fine. It's that's.
I will text you later and be like, I know one.
Yeah, I thought of one. I know it's hard to think of. Like, yeah. Okay, so how can our listeners find out more about you, and then how can we help support you?
Oh, that's so great. Yeah, so I am active on Instagram. Okay. Kelly Armstrong Official. I give a lot of information there. I just really like to just give the information, tug on the heartstrings of moms, dads, athletes that like maybe they're not thinking of, or maybe that they think is normal, but they don't know what to do about it when their kiddo is defeated and losing confidence and not showing up, and or if they're ready for that next level. So it's like I just create this community where they can see themselves in what I'm laying out for them. I've had a lot of parents reach out to me and say, oh, that's exactly what my kiddo's going through. And this is what she needs. I can't believe you know exactly what she's going through, and this and that. And it's great to be there. And sometimes if you follow me on Facebook, but I know that gets a little weird with requesting friendships and stuff, but I'm there too. But mostly I'm on Instagram. And then I can also give you my email as well that you can put in the show notes. Sure. If you just want to reach out that way as well.
Yes, I definitely. Yes. I'll put her Instagram, and yes, we'll put your email in the show notes as well. And because I think there's a lot of parents that are listening that, and it's just hard enough to parent, like, you know, teenagers in general. That's just tough. But then when you add sports and competitive and all these things on top of it, it's just a lot. And so, yeah, knowing what these kids really need to help them is so huge. So thank you so much for coming on. I so appreciate you. I'm literally probably going to be like, you need to meet with Owen. I've been buying him these little books about, you know, mental toughness and about sports stories of how people overcome stuff. Cause I'm like, hey, you want to read this? Like if you're bored. So yeah.
Yep. Jason,
but thank you
too. And it's fun to just love that. I mean, especially at this age too, the young teenage years, like just to get those little nuggets, you know, they're not going to know this whole big, you know, big picture of life. It's hard to explain that to them, especially boys at such a young age. All they can think about is what's happening right here and right now. But yeah, any mindset book, inspirational quotes even are really great. And I love little tidbit things for athletes too is, okay, well, they pick up this silly phone how many times a day, right? What if their screensaver was something inspirational, like a quote, or even the picture of the athlete that they're, you know, trying to, you know, look up to or compete, whether it's, you know, their position on the basketball court or fields or something like that, or even a sticky note in their lunchbox. I know it's kind of cheesy, but they will read it, or even on their mirror in their bathroom. You know, be who God created you to be, or just even saying how grateful you are today, you know, just kind of gets them into the practice of being aware that they can control their mind at any age. And, you know, and watching what they put into their brain, you know, their brain's going to start believing that. So the more positive things that they can see and hear is just life-changing, especially at this age, to get them now versus when they're struggling junior and senior year in high school. And it takes a little bit more work.
Yes, I love all of that. Such good ideas. Yes, yes, I totally agree. Well, thank you so much, Kelly. I
Yes,
so
thank
appreciate
you. It was
you.
so fun to finally chat with you. It was so great. Thank you for
Yes.
having me.
Well, everyone, please give her a follow. And I know so many of you have young athletes. So please, reach out to her. She is amazing. I can vouch for her and her son and her family. Just, you guys are the sweetest. So thank you so much again. And everyone, thank you for stopping by and listening. And always remember, no BS, just real vibes. We'll see you next time on Lip Service and Lashes. If you loved the episode, share it on Instagram and tag me so I can say thank you and meet you. Or share it with a girlfriend who you know would love this too. Always remember, no BS, just real vibes. See you next time on Lip Service and Lashes.